taking in moments, J.J. Hardy today, the ovation and then the home run, what's going through your mind?
Yeah, we kind of snuck that in behind J.J.'s back because I know what he would have said if he'd known it was coming. Almost took him out of the game with 2 outs in the ninth, but I think he wanted to be out there. It's one of those things where, you know, when he hits a home run, we go in the dugout going, really? You know, and I don't think it surprises anybody. J.J.'s delivered a lot of things the team needs over the course of his time here. We'll see what the future brings. It's one of those guys, a lot of people say you won't know how good he was till he's gone. I think everybody here knows how good he was and how good he is. And he's got some good baseball ahead of him. You think about J.J., you think about the word efficient, trustworthy, impactful to his teammates. You know, we're very lucky to have had him pass our way. We'll see what the future brings. He's played a big part in the culture, I think. You know, he talked to Jonathan and Manny and even Beck and Chris and people along the way that he's impacted. I think the greatest compliment, you know, Brady and I were talking about him, that he's probably the only guy I've ever seen that reminds you of Cal at shortstop defensively. You know, you always go, you know, they're able to get to balls with their brain as well as their hands, if that makes any sense.
You've often said of him, sort of his substance was his style. And a very difficult year for him. He never complained, did he?
No, no. Jay, there's not a day Jay doesn't wake up and realize how fortunate he is, and how lucky he is, and to have come to Baltimore, a place where people really get what he brings. There's a play, a spinning sharp ground ball off the left-hander with a pull swing. It's off the middle of the bat with a little tardy, and it's going towards him up the middle. It's spinning, and I guarantee everybody in the ballpark thought it was a routine play. It was a really hard play, and I can't tell how many times over his tenure here I've said to him, standing in the hole, you know, third hitter up in the inning, I said, how many people think really realize how hard that play was? He goes, me, you, Bobby, Manny, John. But JJ never, you know, he never wants the attention taken away from the team. He's the ultimate teammate.
Buck, you were surprised that, well, I don't know, Bundy's hamstring, obviously you didn't know about it until late. What's up with that, and do you think that he'll be able to pitch again this year?
Well, you know, I know there's probably some people trying to read something into it. I wish, you know, I had some apprehension, quite frankly, about pitching him today. You know, I was going to pitch him 5 innings only, and in fact, Roger and I tossed and turned on it the last few days, and especially after we got eliminated last night. So I got to tell you, in a way, it was a blessing. And I'm not going to, it's not embarrassing. The guy's, it really cramped up. He strained it. He slipped, you know, in his preparation, things pitchers do, warming up. They start about 11:30, 12, going through some things they do every time, and it knotted up on him. I mean, it kind of spasmed up on him, and so it kind of worked out well, because I really wanted to get Chris out there for another start and put our bullpen a little bit in a tough spot, having to take Chris out of there, having any length. But you know, everybody that we brought in did their job. Michael was key today, I thought.
Buck, as good as a day as it was for JJ, do you feel for Chris that he didn't get that same ability to get the ovation from the fans?
Well, like I said, let's see what the future brings for both those guys. Yeah. Okay, you know, they got some good baseball ahead of them, both of them, and you never know. This game has a funny way, you know, it's that time of year where I don't say goodbye, I say see you later, and I'm really, really bad at goodbyes, especially to people that you've gone through the things that, you know, you've gone through with Chris and JJ. You know, we kind of went through this together here.
To get back to
reading between the lines and kind of following up what David asked, as far as Bundy is concerned, I mean, is this it for him then?
You know, it's like Zach. I'm not going to go ahead and, you know, I'll tell you, you know, he's very close to where, you know, I was willing to take him to be ready to pitch in the playoffs. You know, so, you know, I can show you the charts that we had mapped out since spring, and he's right on the button. That's why today was a little bit of a stretch. But he really wanted to pitch, and we were going to really watch him. So I got to tell you, there's a part of me breathed a little sigh of relief when he didn't pitch today, to be frank with you. What were we going to ask?
Same thing as Dan.
What about Adam left with the same stuff that he's been suffering with?
I talked to Adam 20 times this year. I have respect for him and knowing some of the physical challenges that you go through and he's going through. And last night, I don't know, it was about 12:31, I texted him and got back to me this morning, which meant that he was asleep. I guess, I hope. And with those two young boys, he was asleep. So he wanted to play today. He wanted to play today for the fans as much as anything. And I think that's, he was scuffling. You know, it's the same thing that's been bothering him since really off and on for the last couple of months. But that trip to Toronto, and of course we're headed to Tampa eventually, and for some reason playing interleague play for 2 days. I've been watching UNO hit the last couple of days. It's not pretty. But I'm sure somebody's going to go, I don't know if I'm going to the game or not today. By the way, it's hitting. Let's go, honey.
You mentioned wanting to see Chance Sisco catch a game like this with the atmosphere and, Archer. What was your impression?
Well, I'm getting ready to talk to the pitchers a little bit that I trust. Darren will have a good take on it. Of course, John, there's not a better catch instructor in baseball than John Russell. And I thought what I noticed was that I didn't notice him. You know what I'm saying? And in fact, I'm getting ready to call Gary Cederstrom. I know Gary, and to see what he thought some from an umpire's perspective. But if he says he was terrible, I still like him. But John's not. I don't think he will. And I thought he presented himself well. Chris is quick to the plate. They don't run much on him. And the pop-up was tough. Thought he was pretty calm with that. Waited a long time to throw his mask away and didn't let it drift on him like a lot of guys get too far under it. They do a drill in the spring where they once they ask for their glove, they can't. It's like a pivot foot. You can't move more than a pivot foot to catch it. So they wait. John was pretty proud of that drill because it keeps you. See if you can make a good evaluation when it's coming down where it's going to be. When they first start out, they're always off, and it's a way to teach them that it drifts to this direction. So they make their call too quick for their glove, and their partner hands them the glove. I don't know why I got off on that. I guess I'm bragging about John's drills. But
since you're not sure on Bundy, is there?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
okay, y'all know I am.
Yeah,
if he comes in and fights tooth and nail, I'd be surprised if he pitches again, but I'll never say never.
So absent him, does Tillman have a chance to start again?
Sure. Right now with, because, Goz's last start will be Tuesday. So, Saturday, Sunday, we've got some options. The problem is some of the options we have to use in the pen to get to it. Whether it's a Mike Wright, whether it's a Tillman, whether it's a couple other guys. So, we may add a pitcher from the mini camp down there for Pittsburgh and Tampa because we're a little short down there.
For relief help?
Yes. Yeah. The starter will come from here. It could change if we get into a 16-inning game or something. It could change.
What did you think of Tillman overall? I know he had the 2 home runs, but
you know what? The last inning, he was saying, Chris was great. It was right up his alley. Team needs me. Let's go. And had 7 days off. Not one whimper about anything. And he said, I'm fine to keep going. 60-something pitches, and after 7 days off, I thought his last inning was Chris. I did. He located some fastballs. In fact, he set up the runway. Said that there it was. He said I finally got it. I thought each inning got a little bit better. He's going to be a good pitcher next year.
Has his confidence been affected at all by all this?
Pardon?
How much has his confidence been affected,
sure.
if
Are
at
you
all?
kidding me?
Yeah.
His confidence, your confidence in what he's going to bring. I mean, they're human beings, and when you've gone through the successes that Chris has gone through here, it's even more painful, and it's painful to watch him because you know how much it means to him. So there's a lot of things he couldn't do this off season that he normally does to prepare, and we talked about it numerous times. He's going to take very little time off, and he's going to get after it because he's not going to want to go through this again. I know that. Okay.